Welcome in Tyler Smith from thehoosier.com, fresh off of writing a piece on Trent Sisley yesterday and his visits all week. He has been a busy man, a wanted man, the entire Sisley family, hosting Matt Painter on Monday, the entire Indiana staff on Tuesday, Micah Shrewsbury on Wednesday, and now he has received an offer from the University of Louisville and Pat Kelsey. But that is, like I said, it's nice, but you're a little late to the game. But you almost have to, being as close. There might be the closest of all of those. I'd have to judge between Bloomington and there. But I think that they might be closer to Louisville as far as to the University of Louisville is from a driving standpoint. Mm. But he's got an abundance of offers. So that's not surprising, but good for him. But you spoke with him yesterday. How was it?
It was great. Yeah. Super busy week for him. When he met Notre Dame, it was at the school. Purdue and Indiana were both actual legit in-home visits, which is pretty cool. So he was excited to, kind of kick back in his own home and talk to two coaches from Purdue, the entire coaching staff from Indiana. One of the things I wanted to ask him was how much goes into his decision based on previous success. So obviously this past year, Purdue going to the Final Four, final game, Indiana not making the tournament, some of these other schools that won him not as much success. How much weight does he put into that? And he said not too much. It's more about direction. It's more about fit, opportunity. He does want to go to a team that wins, but there's so many more factors to it that fans have to understand, because you read comments all year, if Indiana's struggling or somebody else is struggling and they think, well, no recruits are going to want to go here. We've seen just in one offseason how much Indiana can reshape the program. You hope it translates on the court, but there's just so many factors to it. So it was refreshing to hear, a kid of his caliber talk about that as opposed to just the on-court success.
Yeah, in reading through your piece, and make sure you go to thehoosier.com. And if you're not a subscriber, you should be for great content like this. He talks about the fact of it's good to have face-to-face time with these guys. Mm-hmm. And that is, it shows them that they're wanted more, I think, when you have that. And I mentioned that because getting out and seeing these guys play is important when they're available to do so. This weekend is not one of those times. They'll be playing up in Indianapolis, by the way, or Trent, along with Desmond Briscoe, Malachi Moreno, and Braylon Mullins, who is also what was on the visit list for Indiana this week, as well as Jalen Harrelson. But Trent Sisley is drawing a lot of attention. He's the biggest name in Southern Indiana. You've got Southern Indiana, you've got Indianapolis, and Jalen Harrelson, which he's not really in Indianapolis anymore. So there's not so Braylon Mullins, I guess, is kind of where is Greenfield Central?
Is that? I think it's north. Well, sometimes I get my Greenfields and Greenwoods and
there's too many greens. I'm from Greenville, so there's a lot of green in Indiana, which is good. But he's the man in Southern Indiana, without question. So there's no doubt that Purdue wants him. Mm-hmm. Indiana wants him. Notre Dame wants him. That's a long haul for Micah Shrewsbury. It's not a short haul for Matt Painter. Of course, they're flying on private jets, so don't feel sorry for me, Argentina. How do you think Indiana staff got around to visiting three guys in one day? It wasn't because they had Fred Flintstone pedaling the car around, I can promise you. But an exciting day when you have those guys. And he mentioned that it was different seeing the whole staff.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who Michael Shrewsbury brought, or if he brought anyone with him, or if it was just him. He mentioned that Coach Painter brought Coach Lusk with him, but the Indiana had the entire staff down there. He normally talks to Brian Walsh a lot, and in addition to Coach Woodson some, but it's going to be a battle. His is going to be a battle.
Mm-hmm.
His recruitment.
And it's kind of rare. It's surprising. I've mentioned this lately that Indiana Purdue, for all their battles on the court for hundreds plus years, there's not been a whole lot, at least lately, of recruiting battles going after the same kids. They've kind of cornered certain markets and kids that they want to go after. But this is one that they definitely both want to win. And he still says, late summer, early fall is what he's looking at. And he also talked to him about if he's been paying close attention to the portal and how Indiana's been reshaping the roster. And he said he's absolutely taken notice of direction they're headed and the moves they're making. So, that's a good thing, and a difference that a month and a half makes as far as momentum. Again, they got to prove it on the court, but just a lot of different momentum there. But yeah, with that timeline, late summer, early fall, the Hoosiers and other schools are probably thinking about putting the full court press on to try to solidify a player of that caliber, who I personally think he's underrated based on all the everything I've seen, and he's a winning ball player. He does so many things on the court, so I think he's actually underrated, and I think he'll climb the rankings.
Yeah, he's one of those guys. I've said this. He is going to be a great get because he's going to be a 3 or 4 year guy. And I say 3 or 4 because, hey, who knows? He could blossom into an NBA player. I don't know that he will or won't. Big 6'8" athletic guy who takes things easy. He's not a guy that's going to have an entourage around him. He is solid, down to earth. He's got a great family. Just as good a kid as you're ever going to want to be around. I can promise you that. And but he's going to be a core of whatever program he ends up at. He is going to be a core of that program by year 2, without question.
Yeah, and you think about Indiana, where they are now, if they can also solidify the future a little bit with at least one of these really good, really talented Indiana kids for 2025. Obviously, year to year, things change. Everyone's on 1-year contracts. A whole lot can happen, as we've seen even in a month's time. But for the Indiana fan base and for the program to feel like, all right, we've done this in the portal. We got Tucker, we got some momentum, and now we also have a stud or 2 or 3 from 2025, 2026. You start to really see a better path forward if they can pull that off.
Yeah, last season he averaged over 24 points and over 11 rebounds a game, a double-double, 4 assists, 2 blocks, and almost 2 steals per game.
Mm-hmm.
Shot 60% from the field, and led his team in 3-point shooting. And unfortunately for him, he plays on a team that does not have as much support as I'm sure he would like to have on that program, which meant he got a lot of double and triple teams, man. Every time I saw him play, I think it was the second time, he had a bloody nose and cotton all shoved up it because they've got 2-3 guys out there beating and banging on him. So I remember someone saying that, I've heard that he doesn't like contact. I'm like, that's horse crap. I heard that from who? I saw him get the crap beat out of him and still put up a double-double.
Yeah.
And that's like a minute ago, I saw someone say that I heard Braylon Mullins is an IU lean. Yeah, heard it where? I don't think anybody's a lean anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Trent is Sisley. He's not a lean anywhere. He's going through the process. He just hosted, 3 major schools in 3 days. He's not leaning any direction. He's got an entire senior season coming up to play. Hell, he's got an AAU season to go through now that they're already in the mix of. That continues this weekend in Indianapolis, where if you're in the area, you can go see that. I mean, that's open to the public. Just got the credential approval back in the mail today. That takes place on April 27th and 28th, which is this Saturday and Sunday. It's the Indianapolis Jam Fest. And it takes place. Where does that take place?
I think it's at Avon High School.
I didn't even know. So that's good because that's on the west side. So it'll be a little closer to me.
Taking on the Border Blazers in their first game. And let's see, Ohio Stars, Indiana Elite Central, a lot of good teams. Should be a fun event. Yeah, you mentioned as far as the leans go, how many times this year did people think, well, you know, Sisley's going to the Purdue game, so that's a locked up deal. And then 4 days later, he's at Assembly Hall, you know, and
he's going to go to those games. They're called visits, people, and you get to take them. And if you don't take them, then you start to show that you might be a lean. But as long as you're taking visits, and he's not, nobody has a lean. So that's more of what a fan wants, what a fan wants, what a fan needs. Oh man, that one will be forever blazoned in my brain. But yeah, just let them go through the process, man. People get more jacked. Just let it happen. Relax and enjoy the ride. And just let it play out. Let those guys enjoy the ride. That's the biggest thing. Let them enjoy this process.
On the flip side of that, everybody thought that Essegian was for sure an Indiana lock, and then 1 or 2 days later, he's signing with Nebraska. So it's just like you just never know until it's a done deal, and you got to let it play out. And it's fun to speculate and report on what all's going on and kind of see what they're thinking, but. You know, at the end of the day, they've got tough decisions to make for their future, and they'll make it when they want to make that choice.
Hello, everybody. Jim Coyle with Indiana Sports Beat Radio, and thank you for enjoying our content and videos. And make sure you hit that subscribe and notifications toggle so you don't miss out on anything, whether it's Indiana Hoosiers, the Boilers, the Colts, the Pacers, Indiana high school action, whatever's happening in sports. We're trying to bring it all to you, and make sure you don't miss out on a thing. Again, hit the subscribe button for us. Helps us out a ton. We appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much.